At first glance, he was just another frail old man, walking slowly, hands trembling, with a coat older than the store itself. But what the arrogant young cashier didn't know was that the man he mocked built everything around him. This is the true story of how one disrespectful moment unraveled a powerful secret and humbled a heart full of pride. Stay with us, because what happens next will shock you. This is Secrets of the Case. It was supposed to be a regular morning at Martal's superstore. The aisles were stacked, the scanners beeped rhythmically, and customers moved in and out without drama. But on that chilly Thursday, a moment of arrogance would unveil decades of secrets, break long-held assumptions, and turn an ordinary grocery store into the setting of a story that shook an entire city. Tyler Grant was 23, cocky, and always had his phone tucked in the side of his cheek while ringing up customers at the checkout counter. He'd been working at Martal's for 7 months and thought he had the place figured out. The regulars, the deals, the shortcut buttons on the register, he could run the till with his eyes closed. He rolled his eyes when he saw the next customer hobbling toward him, an elderly man with tattered boots, a dusty fedora, and an oversized coat that looked like it had survived the Great Depression. Figures, Tyler muttered. Always when I'm about to take a break. The old man moved slowly, gently placing a few canned goods, some tea, and bread on the conveyor belt. His hands trembled slightly. "Hey, Pops," Tyler said with a smirk, barely looking up. "You sure you can pay for all this?" The old man offered a polite smile. "Yes, young man. Just the basics today." Tyler let out a sarcastic chuckle. "Right. Got the senior discount ready too?" "We don't do IOUs, Grandpa." People in line started glancing up from their phones. A woman whispered something to her son and stepped into the next aisle. The air grew tight. The old man, calm and composed, handed over a crumpled bill and coins with both hands. Tyler rolled his eyes again and snatched the money. "You should learn how to use a card, you know," he sneered, tossing the change into the register without counting. As the man reached for his bag, Tyler added one last jab. "You lucky we don't charge for breathing in here." The old man paused. He stared at Tyler for a long moment, not with anger, but with a sadness that pierced deeper than rage. Then, he simply nodded, adjusted his coat, and walked out of the store. An hour later, store manager Denise stormed out of her office, her heels clacking across the floor like gunshots. "Who rang up the man in the brown coat around 10 a.m., she barked. Tyler leaned back on the counter smugly. "If you mean the homeless grandpa? That was me." Denise's face turned stone cold. "Do you have any idea who that man was?" Tyler shrugged. "A pensioner?" She walked closer and hissed, "That was Mr. Harold Martal, the founder of this entire store chain." The color drained from Tyler's face. "What?" He blinked. "No, that guy looked homeless." Denise didn't flinch. "He built this store with his bare hands in the 70s. Before it became a chain. Retired 10 years ago. Comes in once a year to see how things are run, secretly. And guess who he chose to interact with this time?" Tyler opened his mouth, but no words came. "He built this place on respect and hard work," she continued. "You mocked him." By the next morning, the entire store was buzzing. Employees whispered in break rooms. Even customers had caught wind. News spread fast. Then came the black SUV. It pulled up quietly outside the store. The doors opened, and 2 men in suits walked in, followed by a sharply dressed older man, clean-shaven, well-groomed, but unmistakably the same figure from the day before. Tyler, frozen behind the counter, locked eyes with him. Mr. Harold Martal. There was no tattered coat now. No dusty hat. Just piercing blue eyes and the aura of a man who had built an empire and been disrespected inside it. Denise rushed forward. "Sir. Welcome back." Mr. Martal raised his hand gently. "I'm not here for ceremonies. I'm here for the boy." He walked past the aisles, past the candy bars, right to the register. Tyler, is it? He asked calmly. Tyler nodded, his voice barely a whisper. Why yes, sir. You judged me yesterday. I didn't mean. You mocked a man you knew nothing about, Mardal said. Tell me, what gave me away? The coat? The slow walk? The fact I paid in cash? Tyler stammered, I just thought that I was beneath you, Mardal interrupted softly. And that, young man, is the problem with many people today. The room was silent. I started this store because I was once like the man you thought I was yesterday. I slept in shelters. Sold newspapers. I know what it feels like to be invisible. Mardal looked around at the staff. I want every employee in this store to hear me when I say this. Character is seen in how you treat those who can offer you nothing. He turned back to Tyler. You're not fired. Tyler blinked, stunned. You're being given one last chance, but not as a cashier. As a janitor. Gasps echoed from the crowd. You'll clean the floors you once walked arrogantly upon, Mardal continued. For 6 months. If you learn humility, we'll talk again. He turned away and began to leave. But paused. Oh, and Tyler? Yes, sir. I didn't build this store for profit. I built it to give people dignity. You almost cost us that. For the next few weeks, Tyler scrubbed floors, mopped restrooms, and hauled garbage. People laughed behind his back. Some were kinder. Most ignored him. But something inside him began to shift. He noticed the way the elderly struggled with carts. How the single mothers juggled crying kids and groceries. How the security guard held the door longer for disabled customers. He had never seen any of it before. One rainy evening, he spotted an older woman trying to buy bread with coins, short by 40 cents. Tyler, now in a janitor's vest, quietly dropped the change on the counter without saying a word. When she turned and smiled at him with teary eyes, something cracked in his chest. Empathy. 6 months passed. Then one morning, Denise called Tyler to the office. He's here, she said. Tyler walked in, cleaner's gloves in his back pocket, posture straight, but humble. Mr. Mardal sat behind the desk. Well, the old man said. You've lasted. Yes, sir. And learned? Tyler nodded. More than I thought I needed to. Mardal stood and walked over. Pride comes before blindness. But humility opens your eyes. He handed Tyler a small envelope. Inside was a letter of promotion, assistant supervisor in training. Tyler was stunned. Why? He asked. After what I did, why trust me again? Mardal looked at him with a calm smile. Because the true test of character isn't how you fall. It's how you rise. That once arrogant cashier now walks the floors with respect. Not just for the customers. But for the journey, the lesson, and the man he thought was just an old beggar. Because in the end, the richest people are often the ones you'd never expect. And the greatest secrets? They hide in plain sight. When judgment replaces kindness, truth will always find a way to humble us. This was one mistake that turned into a mirror and revealed the real man behind the counter.